Hello, I'm Dr. Jim Knickerbocker, Director of Training and Certification for the Institute for Adaptive Mastery. I'm excited to welcome you to this course we call Tenor for Performance because it can completely shift your perspective on emotions like frustration, anxiety, fear, anger, and resentment. Instead of seeing these emotions as painful problems, you can instead see them as performance opportunities. When I mention this possibility to my coaching clients, they're usually intrigued because their experience of these emotions has been anything but positive. They've spent their entire life going to great lengths to avoid these feelings. Yet, once they become proficient at tenor, they are able to rapidly process a situation through the method and extract from that situation the gold that's laying just beneath the surface. They eventually report that they relish these emotions because they know they're close to discovering something important that will get them back on track. It's my hope that you'll get enough value from this introductory lesson that you will want to continue with us through the rest of the course. Before we dive in, I'd like to ask you an important question that will help you get a lot more out of the course. What are some emotionally laden situations that you would like to learn how to handle more skillfully than you have in the past? While you're pondering that question, I'll share what I have on my desktop and we can get started. Solutions like tenor are often portrayed as a way to improve one's emotional intelligence, and that's certainly true. So I'd like to take a moment to provide some background on emotional intelligence, what it is, and why it's important for your performance. I'd also like to mention how tenor takes a very different approach to increasing emotional intelligence, one that has big implications for improving your long-term performance. Emotional intelligence starts with the insight that our ability to perform in the world is as much a function of our emotional capabilities as our cognitive or intellectual capabilities. Nearly 3,000 scientific articles have been published on the topic of emotional intelligence. These studies have shown that emotional intelligence is correlated to a host of beneficial outcomes, including overall resilience, career success, entrepreneurial potential, leadership talent, health, and relationship satisfaction. So the implicit promise of emotional intelligence is that if you can increase it, then your performance will increase. This, of course, begs the question, how? How do we increase someone's emotional intelligence? The how seemed obvious at first. You just needed to learn how to manage your emotions, particularly the so-called negative ones like anger, frustration, and anxiety. Overall, these methods have provided some relief, just as an aspirin can address a headache, but it doesn't address the underlying problem. None of these methods are the cure. What's needed is a simple technique for improving our ability to respond productively to emotionally laden situations on an ongoing basis. Charles has been researching this topic since 2004, and he's made what I consider to be a game-changing discovery. His new understanding of emotion asserts that emotions contain data that you can use to improve your performance. His theory literally changes the game that you play with your emotions, particularly when a negative emotion arises. We call that new game tenor, and it does not involve managing your emotions. Instead, it involves decoding them. We call the course Tenor for Performance because its goal is to help you use your emotions so that you can improve your performance. Specifically, we'll show you the tenor method, which is a 5-step process that's been proven to raise your emotional intelligence. The tenor method addresses the root causes of emotional derailers, ones that you see on the left here: stress, reactivity, negativity, powerlessness, and disengagement. Tenor empowers the practitioner to consciously shift into a higher state of emotional intelligence, one that's been shown to improve performance. So instead, you experience greater vitality, composure, accountability, resourcefulness, and enthusiasm. Now that we've set the context, in the remainder of this lesson, we'll explain the unexpected relationships between emotion and performance. When you know how to work with your built-in performance system, it propels you to higher and higher levels of performance. But when you work against the system because you misunderstand it, or you ignore it, or interfere with it, then your performance will suffer. Next, we'll shift from theory into practice, and we'll ask you to take a real-life example of frustration and use part of the Tenor method on it so that you can see the relief that is possible. This will give you a very personal experience of what Tenor can do for you. Finally, we'll ask you to reflect on your experience, then consider other ways that you currently find emotions challenging and how you might use Tenor to address these emotional challenges so that you can improve your performance. Now on your LMS screen, please click the button below this video that will advance you to the next step in our lesson. Thank you for watching.